Alright guys, Mike McFarland here, the Lake Fork Fishing Guide. Things are shaping up finally in Northeast Texas. The cold is behind us. And I really knew that what was going to happen is we were gonna miss all that nice weather and just go from the April, which was the chill and the cool and the cold fronts after cold front after cold front, to just bam, hot, just like that. And that's just exactly what happened. We got all the way up to 90 degrees, humid, not miserable, but hot. And that's a good thing. For bass fishing, for Florida string bass, it's a good thing. So with that being said, again, welcome to McFarland's Corner here. It's a public rundown. I give you guys some information about how the lake is fishing now. And it's doing pretty good. Before we start telling you about the fishing, I want to do a few things. I want to address a few things. Number one, I want to be sure you guys are aware that you can find me on Facebook, the Lake Fork Adventures Guide Service. Go find that, give that a follow, because I do a lot of daily reports there and on the water reports as we're catching or not catching and things like that. So it's worth a follow. Also, I'm going to, right from the beginning this time, remind you about the members only channel, which is an upgrade from what you're watching here. This public rundown is, I give you a decent fishing report. If you subscribe to my members only channel, you're going to get a lot more details. You get the truth. You get exactly what I'm doing on the water, the baits I'm using, the success I'm having or not. I tell you the areas and where to be fishing. But the members only channel, $4.99 a month. It's an invite right now. Come on over, give it a try. You can always unsubscribe. If you're looking to be a member, look in the description below this video and find the link. Click on the link and follow the procedure. It's pretty easy. The next thing is called Let's Talk Fishing. That's even an upgrade more. It's $9.99 a month, and I do about a lesson every week. It's usually anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour lesson, and it's in great detail. It's not a fishing report. It covers a lot of different things. It covers topics, information. We talked about post-spawn. We talked about pre-spawn. We talked about shad spawn. We've talked about baits and different things, and so there's some just really good lessons that I've already done in the archives, and there'll be a whole bunch more to come in the future. So consider that. Same thing, look in the description below, hit the join button or follow the link, hit the join button and decide whether you want to be a member or an upgraded Let's Talk Fishing member. And I can tell you one thing, with the Let's Talk Fishing, it's growing very fast. And once a month I do a giveaway. Once a month I have a drawing for the Let's Talk members, and I do a giveaway. And that giveaway has a value of over $150 at times. It's been a range of $125 to $150 worth of fishing lures, baits, clothing, apparel, discount cards, things like that. So for $5 a month, $60 a year, 5 times 12 months. If you win just once, you've tripled your money. Plus you get the lessons. Let's Talk Fishing. Become a Let's Talk Fishing member. All right, let's tell you about the lake. 402.02, 402.04 on Monday. The rain we had a few days ago, it didn't really bring things up, but it did. Very minuscule, but we were dropping down to 402.97, I think we got, and we've come back up another half an inch or whatever that is, less than that. 0 to 1 clarity. Here's the best part. Water temperature is warming, 72 to 76 degrees. Couple quick things. Remember, when this water starts getting warmer, the metabolism of the fish increases. They start to eat more often. When this water warms and gets finished, the fish get out of spawn mode. So when it sits in the 60 degrees, 60, 64, 64 to 67, the fish is programmed to spawn in that level at that temperature. And so they stay in that mode, continue trying to spawn, even if they have spawned. I've put bass in a fish tank years ago, and literally in the fish tank, and I had 3 fish tanks, 3 200-gallon fish tanks, and I did a test, kind of working with the Arizona game fish and things, and I coordinated with a guy named Rory, and we decided that we were going to do a test, and we had one tank that was really hot, 90 degrees, to see how the fish acted, one that was really cold to see how the fish acted, and one that sat in the temperatures where they spawn to see what the fish would do. And we did this for a period of time. And we tried everything from no food, see how long we could go without food and what would happen. For example, in the cold water, no food didn't hardly affect them at all. In the hot 90-degree water, 88-degree water, the fish got skinny and lethargic very quickly and were hunting the cage. And if you went to the tank and put your finger up, they would come to it. But here's the thing, the point of this little quick lesson. In the 65-degree, 67-degree tank, they stayed in spawn mode. Literally, the fish had dug a nest and stayed in there for 2 months straight, just constantly waiting to spawn. We see this with power plant lakes in November, December, when the water temperature gets the right temperature. It's not the right time of year. It has nothing to do with the sun, the moon phases, the solar, nothing to do with the angle of the sun and the amount of daylight per day. And it has nothing to do with Mother Nature. It has to do with the power plant lake has warmed that water up to the temperature. The temperature tells the body of the fish it's time to spawn. So they spawn in the power plant lakes in December when there's snow on the ground. Temperature is important. It's massive. Now where I'm going, the reason for that quick little lesson. By the way, this little example lesson I'm giving you here is what you get in Let's Talk Fishing members. You get serious intelligence. You get serious. I've been doing this my entire life. I've been making a living fishing for over 20 years. I paid my bills from fishing, both tournaments and guiding. I no longer compete. I don't compete. I stopped competing when I came to Texas. But here's the thing. Bluegills, brim, they spawn in the 76 to 80. So we're about to have a brim spawn. And that's what's next. So you should experience, number one, the shad spawn is 68 to 72. So we're going to have a shad spawn right now, which means top water bite. The top water bite is happening. There's a frog bite. There's a walking top water bite. There's a popping top water bite. There's a buzzing top water bite. Buzz frogs, buzz baits, whopper ploppers. It's time to break those out. All right, so I'm giving you guys some pretty good meat and potatoes here in the public information. Points, secondary points, things like that. This is actually probably more detail than I usually give the public, and I'm doing it on purpose. I want you to know that I appreciate your public subscription as well, whether you upgrade or not, okay? But here's the thing. The past couple of Mays, we've had topwater bite, and it's gone all day long. If you remember last year when the elite anglers were here, some of them were throwing topwaters all day long, but the lake was low. It was different. Fish weren't scattered as much. This year, the fish are very scattered. With the full lake and the heavy flooded cover, which was the cover that grew when the lake was down, they're very scattered, and so are the shad. And instead of the shad being bunched up and spawning on flats and red clay points and things, they're spawning throughout the whole lake in the backwaters all over the place. I've seen shad spawning around tree stumps. I've never seen them do that before. But a small amount of shad circling around a tree stump, spawning around the tree stump. Instead of big, huge, conglomeratory size groups of shad, they're broken up and spread out. So you've got to do some searching. You got to realize that you know that shad spawn is going to happen in the cover, in the junk. It's going to be shallow. It's going to be spread out throughout the lake. The birds will help you find this. Look for the blue herons. Look for the white egrets. Those are your two best birds to find areas where there are shad. Again, top waters are working. Underspins are starting to work. Swim jigs are starting to work. Weightless baits like flukes, bass assassins, impact shad on a weightless deal. That's starting to work around that. Here's the key though. If you're not finding action shallow, it's time to go deep. You're going to see that shallow action every morning from from crack of dawn till 8, 9, 10 in the morning. And then it's going to fade depending on how much sun there is. If it's a cloudy day, it may stay all day. You're in the right area, you might have a topwater bite all day. Come and go. But generally, it's going to be the first couple hours and the last hour. All right. So for example, just a couple days ago, I had a friend of mine who went fishing in the morning, caught him really good for 2 hours over the weekend. And the other day he had called me and he said, well, how about the evening? What do you think about the evening? And I said, well, I don't know. I haven't been fishing the evening. I'm off the water by 4 o'clock. He said, well, I'm going to go out at 5 o'clock and see. From 5 to 7, 2 hours, it was a grind. He didn't get a bite. From 7 to dark, man, they pulled back into his cove. And he crushed them on a weightless fluke, reeling it across the top. And I'm sorry, a weightless Cinco. Throwing it and reeling the Cinco across the top of the water. They would chase it and crush it. So early and late is going to be your top water. The fish are going to be up in and pull out as we get hot. When I say deep now, I'm talking post-spawn fish, anywhere from 8 to 12, and believe it or not, 20 to 28. A lot of these really, really big fish will get offshore in 20 to 28 feet of water right now because it's cooler. They've been up in the shallow waters. The shallow waters are starting to get hot. The big females have spawned. They're post-spawn. They want to recover. They want to relax. They want to be in comfortable, cool water. So they go to cool water. The two best cool waters you're going to find are deep trees in 20 to 28 feet of water. And my favorite, shell beds, deep shell beds, 16, 18, 20 foot deep shell beds. Shell beds are like a sanctuary. It's a nice, usually hard bottomed, semi-soft in areas for the shells to lay in, but it's generally a cool area for sure. The shells themselves, the composite of the shell itself is a cool deal. And when I say shell, I'm talking about the muscle, the big muscle here. Not the clam, the muscle, okay? Mussel beds right now in deep water are the key. It's like a sanctuary. Again, it's like a dog laying on a tile floor. It's a nice, cool area. It sustains plankton, big-time plankton, which is what this feeds on. The plankton sustains life, which is shad, brim, crawfish. So the bass, big female bass, can go to these shell beds and recover. And that's what's happening specifically right now. We'll soon be into brim spawn, where they'll come back after they recover, and they'll be shallow by 2. They'll raid the brim beds. That's coming here as we get 78, 82, 84 degrees. But the shell beds are the deal. And that's it. So here's the thing. If you want to know more about shell beds, become a Let's Talk Fishing member. I do shell bed lesson. If you want to know more about how to fish the shell beds, how to find the shell beds, where are they? You need to be a member. Subscribe. I'm fixing, when I say goodbye to you, to do a members only rundown and tell the guys exactly how I'm fishing the deeper shell beds and what to do with it, what baits to use, and how to catch these bigger females. Because the month of May and the month of June is pretty much nothing but smacking big fish in shell beds in cooler areas, tree stumps, deep trees, deep full trees, and things like that. And that's it. All right, so appreciate you. Thank you guys for watching. Hit the like button. Fishing is good now. Don't let anybody tell you it's not. You're going to hear reports both ways. Everybody knows it was tough. I told you it was tough. For weeks it was tough. And now some guys aren't going to tell you anything because they don't want you out there. And they're going to try and keep it on the down low that fish biting really well. But they really, really are. So comment below. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for being a public member. I wish y'all great fishing.